Hi, I'm Renee Jayne, here to illuminate truth and health and guide you home to yourself. We get wrapped up in other people's stuff sometimes as a distraction to avoid our own advancement and evolution. And why I want to share this with you is because I kind of feel like this is one of the biggest reasons why we have conflict with other people. It's not the only one, but it's a big one. Because if we can get distracted in the relational stuff and wrapped up in other people's stuff, then what it can do is it can keep us from actually pointing our energy at the stuff that we're here to create. You're likely here to create things. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to create a new business. Maybe you're here to help a whole bunch of other people. Maybe there's a project around your house that you've been putting off for a really long time, or something that you need to take action on, something that you need to do. Maybe there's a new relationship that needs to come into your world, and that you're so busy in the fight of the old one that you are not allowing it to come in. And so what I want to do is I want to invite you just for a moment to kind of notice, am I using the conflict of this situation, or am I getting in other people's business as a insidious, very sneaky, because we don't notice this right away, very sneaky way of trying to distract you from doing the things that you are really here supposed to be doing right now. Not saying it's not important, but like the conflict. But is it really that important? Does it really deserve this much of your attention? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I would definitely look at that. The second point I want to make that kind of goes underneath that is to stop giving your power away to those who seek to divert your power or to thwart your power. So if there are people who are consistently in your life who are trying to take your power, sometimes what we need to do is we need to look at, are we making this person and the drama around this person our higher power? Are we so wrapped up into the fact that they're doing this? Then we go into victim. I've been there, by the way. I'm not suggesting I don't understand, because I do. But what I understand more is that when I realized I was in my victimhood, it's only then that I could step into my power and say, I am no longer going to allow this person to take any more of my energy. I'm just not going to allow it. And then it might come in and poke and stuff, and I'll have to step in again and say, no, they're not going to take my energy, because my energy needs to go here. And this is where healthy boundaries come in. Sometimes we start throwing up boundaries, but really the boundaries are why are you giving this other person your attention? Why are you giving them if you don't like what they're doing, go the other way. They're allowed to do what they're doing. Just go the other way. If you need to take action in some way because it's causing an impact on your life, maybe you do, that's okay. I'm not saying you don't speak up when you need to speak up, but ultimately it's really sometimes when we have criticism or we feel like somebody's harmed us, it's ultimately because we are not being in this place of empowerment with ourselves. And so share yourself. Share your opinion. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone, but just know that if your body feels triggered, if you feel like the adrenaline rush in your body, if you feel, that feeling like the heart's beating and the butterflies and that might not be the good time to share yourself. It might not be a good time to share your opinion, because that just means that your emotions have completely overtaken you, that you haven't been able to separate your emotions out from the truth, and it's probably not a good time to speak. So take a minute. Just take a minute. Be in your leadership. Be in your highest sense of consciousness, meaning you are creating your own reality. Your words are powerful. And so whatever you say, make sure that you want to say those words, because they will come back to you. right? They will come back to you. If you accuse somebody of something, just know that that accusation will be something you will need to be reckoning with. That's just how it will work. And that's the beautiful yet annoying aspect of relationships and mirrors. So what kind of reality are you creating? And where are you giving away your energy? What kind of vibration, what kind of frequency? And I know these are words that maybe sound woo-woo, but really, we are all a vibrational frequency. That's literally the physics of being a human. And so when you consider that, you're attracting the vibrational frequency in which that you view the world through, right? So if you have a set of lenses, so to speak, well, metaphorical glasses on, and you keep seeing like annoying, I don't like this person, I can't believe this person did this, I can't believe they said this. That is only, you're seeing all of that. That's the movie you're viewing because of the lens in which you're viewing life through. So it's really like you have to switch those out and put on a whole new set of lenses. See if you can do that. That's not necessarily easy work, but that is the work. That is the work, because you create your reality based on what you're thinking. Your thoughts genuinely create your reality. And we can't start to change our thoughts if we don't allow ourselves to have the space and the time and the experience to be in our body, in our physical body, to notice what are the emotions that are coming through and what is it that is mine, what is it that's theirs, what is it that's God's. It's all God's business, frankly, at the end of the day. The consequences, again, of not doing this work ultimately come back to our physical body. And it's a work that's a constant process. So there's certain days where we just move on with our day, right? But then when stuff comes up, this is when this work is important. And this is when you find a video like this. And so what I want to do is just to wrap up by saying I want to invite you. This is an invitation to spend more time with yourself in your day-to-day life, as if almost this is a preventative medicine. And the day-to-day time, even if it's only 5 minutes, even 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, where you can be quiet with yourself, a meditation practice, even if it's a walking meditation, or a practice just to tune into yourself with some music without lyrics. And it feels important to say this, because if we don't take this space for ourselves to be introspective with ourselves, then we will have a really hard time navigating relationships that are much more complex, especially during a time when a lot of forces in the world want us to be separate. And I haven't really mentioned that in this series, but I think it's important to mention it now. It's that a lot of forces, we'll say, individuals, people, groups, it benefits them if we are divided. It benefits them if we're separate. But the only way that they can separate us and divide us is if we choose to be separate and divided ourselves. If we do this work where we let ourselves go in, we tune in, we get more present with ourselves, then we have the capacity to hold more presence for other people. And, you can't communicate, you can't create new in a relationship. You can't hear another person with this beautiful presence if you're not communicating, creating new, and being present with yourself. So I mentioned boundaries, so I want to bring this in. Some people have deep fears of intimacy. Deep fears of intimacy. Now, I'm not going to tell my story here today, but I can tell you that my deepest fear was a fear of intimacy. And oh boy, it showed up in so many areas of my life. But I want to tell you something about the fear. Usually, on the other side of that fear is our greatest desire. So for me personally, not only did I fear intimacy, I simultaneously desired to have the deepest level of intimacy. I wanted to have relationships where I felt so seen. I still want this, but I also feel like I have it. So I'm speaking about it that way. I wanted to feel so seen I wanted people to like know me. I wanted to have those conversations where I knew them and there was like a depth and a connection that was like incredible. And the thing that we want, we can also simultaneously fear. And so I want to hold that space for all of us today, that really what we're talking about is we're talking about moving forward into intimacy, and that it's a really big fear for a lot of people. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not capable. It just means it's a big fear, and they probably want it, but they just don't know how. I will say that I've seen families, some that I know very closely, that have had years, decades of not speaking to each other. And from my perspective, it's not because there was, well, I can't speak for everyone generally, but what I can say is that there wasn't the tools in order to move through it. There weren't tools. What if there were tools? Would it change something? I don't know. We all have free will, right? All right. I hope this was of value. If you haven't seen the entire series, I encourage you to check it out. All the links are in the section below. And if you like this video, please like this video and leave me a comment. If you have questions or anything at all that you want to share about your experience, I'd love to hear it. I'll see you soon.